Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to the Ain't I Crazy channel. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great holiday season. We're going to get into some new videos I got, man. We're going to see what's going on all around the world. We're going to see all the craziness, the weirdness. But to everybody who reacted to my last video, I appreciate it. To everybody who subscribed to my last video, I definitely appreciate it. But let's get into these new videos, y'all. All right, here we go.
Yep, deadly, terrifying, diseased human parts are being found in turkeys all across the country, and the FDA won't stop this. People were terrified after an alleged eerie security footage surfaced showing thousands of alleged Butterball employees inserting their male body parts into turkeys, both alive and deceased.
Another worker was putting his fingers in a turkey's cloaca,
with some finishing in a turkey right before it gets shipped. Reports allege the Butterball employees were shackling the turkeys to do this, and then after ending the turkey by stomping and making their skull pop, then slamming them against the wall, with many of the employees being heard bragging about it right after.
Some workers even bragged about their abuse.
Many people online are now terrified of getting transmittable diseases, with some that may cause fever, headache, chills, vomiting, or even death after eating the turkey. And if you notice these, your life may be at its end. But other people question the validity of this security footage, given it is PETA making these allegations against Butterball.
If you are in America,
They trying to ruin everything, y'all.
I need you to listen, and listen very closely to this message. If you are not prepared, meaning you have food, canned food, water, beans, a generator, and enough of that to hold your family over for at least 30 days, you might need to cancel your turkey dinner. I hope you guys are paying attention to what's happening around the world. And unfortunately, in this country, it's sad that people will have to get this news over TikTok. I'll say it again. If you do not have canned food, water, beans, rice, a generator, a way to keep your family secure for 30 days, you may need to cancel your turkey dinner and prepare your family. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. Look at what's escalating around the world, and you tell me, why am I saying this right now at this point in history?
Yo, I feel him. But he said I need a generator too to get the turkey dinner. Ain't got no generator, bro.
If you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. And this message is for you, the ones who are not prepared. Cancel Thanksgiving if you have to. I'm out.
Oh my gosh, just look at this.
Now I know y'all all heard about the Butterball turkeys. How these people doing all this cruel, inhumane shit to these turkeys, and y'all telling people don't buy Butterball turkeys. Well, I'm about to break some news to y'all, so brace yourself. Brace yourself. Now, I personally used to work at a turkey farm back in the 80s, right? I worked at a turkey farm. It was a very disgusting, nasty job. I hated it. But in the 80s, that's what teenagers did. They did jobs like that, right? And I'm here to tell you, they was doing that shit to turkeys way back in the 80s. They've been doing that shit way back in the 80s. This ain't nothing new to me. Because when I hear shit like that, it literally has no shock value whatsoever. Because I always knew that they was doing that shit. They do it at chicken farms. They do it at all kinds.
Y'all nasty. Whoever y'all is, man, y'all nasty, man.
I just gonna take the fucking joy out of everything. Y'all just gonna keep traumatizing me. What? Every day is something. I'm about to get on the plane and go to Panama because what is going on? Thanksgiving this year is looking real Wendy's. Chipotle. I'll take you downtown and get you a damn halal platter. You can get some chicken over rice. You can go to the bodega, get you a turkey and cheese. But you ain't getting no motherfucking turkey knife in this motherfucker. I don't know. For the past 6 months, my appetite has been shot. Like, I don't know what it is, but I really don't be in the mood to eat no food no more. And I'm starting to realize why. Can y'all stop touching the turkeys? There is bitches on the ab. There's bitches on the blade. Why are you touching the turkey?
After the Native Americans helped the Pilgrims survive their first winter in America, the Puritans invited them to share the first Thanksgiving.
Oh, these are adorably wrong.
A 5-year-old made that.
Based off of the lies that you taught them.
Excuse me?
Oh, it's not your fault. These are full of half-truths and historical propaganda. By the time the Pilgrims showed up, not only were 2/3 of the Massachusetts tribes completely wiped out by European slave owners and diseases, the Pilgrims were constantly at war with the indigenous people and routinely tortured them.
But they did celebrate it every year, right?
Not exactly. The next one was 16 years later, and unfortunately, it was because the Puritans were celebrating the massacre of the Pequot tribe. Back then, Thanksgiving was also for families, specifically murdering them.
Oh, who cares about how this stupid holiday got started anyway?
Exactly. In George Washington's 1789 Thanksgiving Proclamation, the settlers aren't mentioned not even once. Thanksgiving wasn't celebrated nationwide until 1863 when this guy declared it a national holiday during the Civil War in order to bring the country together. That's why all of our foods are from the 19th century.
So Lincoln came up with the whole Indian Pilgrim story.
Nope. That myth didn't catch on until the 1900s after we had fought and killed all the Native Americans. And then we put it in textbooks as fact. Because America.
Good afternoon.
He was woke. She took that truth pill.
I'm Glenn Walker.
And I'm Luke Parker. We begin with breaking news. Did you feel it? A 3.5 quake struck near Malibu just about 45 minutes ago. The USGS says it was centered about 3 miles northwest of Malibu and had a depth of about 9 kilometers. There were reports of shaking throughout the west side and into the South Bay region. We, of course, are following these developments and will bring you updates as we get them.
I did not feel it.
I did not.
How can you not know what time is? I think Einstein once said that it is the thing that you measure on a watch. But he said that as kind of almost a joke, because you assume in Einstein's theory there's a thing that the watch measures. But what actually it is, at the deepest level, is a good question. It's interesting that the study of black holes is forcing us towards these theories. It's not that we had the theory, space and time emerging from something, and decided we could check it by thinking about black holes. It's come the other way round. That almost makes the universe look in some ways like a giant quantum computer, which is not to say that we live in a simulation, before you ask, but it just looks like there's a description of the universe that looks like a quantum computer. Now, that doesn't have the concept of space or time in it.
Can somebody explain to me how the clock gets set back 1 hour, but then it gets dark at 5 p.m.? Something ain't adding up with any of that, in my honest opinion. But maybe I'm just being too paranoid. Maybe I'm just being too much of a conspiracy theorist. Or maybe just maybe something more is going on. Maybe just maybe. I don't know. You tell me. But something ain't adding up. That's just my honest opinion. And one has to wonder, what really is the real time? That's something else that I question, because you set the clock forward and then you set the clock back. What's the real time? What time is real? What time isn't? I don't know. Just some thoughts that I had.
What y'all think, man? They always messing with the time. I'm sure they got control over it somehow. What y'all think, man? Let me know.
Again, maybe I'm just being too paranoid. Maybe I need to get a piece of tinfoil and put it on my head. Or maybe, just maybe, something else is going on.
looking at these Hello Kitty Squishmallows, and this one right here is literally moving. Look at this. Is anyone seeing this right now?
Wow.
Braylon? Braylon? What's happening with your car?
Bro, come on. I literally saw you, bro. Come on.
Okay, this is crazy. Look. Right?
That's a real glitch in the Matrix right there. A real glitch in the Matrix.
Bro.
Okay, y'all, I don't know what's going on here, but it is red outside. It's red. Look at this. Why is it red outside? Why is it red? What is going on here? Is it the apocalypse?
There are things in this world that we will never fully understand. We want answers.
Why are our shadows not as dark as the bar shadows?
Wow, look at that. Good question. That's a good question.
What if I told you that you are all dead? Darkest mysteries, part one. What happens when we die? It's one of the biggest questions, if not the biggest mysteries on the planet. Do we live in a simulation? Is there a heaven and a hell? Or is there just nothing? However, we may actually have a bit of proof. We know scientifically that when you pass away, your brain is actually still active for around 7 or 8 minutes after death. Until now, we didn't know what happened in that 7 or 8 minutes. Was your brain just slowly shutting down, or was it thinking of things? You know the saying of when you pass away, your life flashes before your eyes? Maybe it does. So, recently some research was actually conducted on a 90-year-old man who passed away. This guy was hooked up to this brain machine which tracked all of his brain activity before he died, after he died, and when it was fully shut off. The interesting thing that the doctors found was that after he had passed away, in that 7 or 8 minutes, his brain activity spiked and went crazy before then just completely shutting off and going black. By monitoring the patterns in the brain, it was then concluded that the brain activity was identical to someone who was dreaming, which is absolutely insane, I know. So when you're in a dream, you've probably had a lucid dream that feels extremely real, and you wouldn't actually be able to differentiate between real life and the dream. But time also moves a lot slower when you're in the dream world. Sometimes you may have a dream where it literally feels like you've been in it a whole day, you've gone to school or something. You wake up and you've actually only been in the dream 20 minutes. So where do we link these two parts together? Well, right here. We don't know what the year is, we don't know what's happened, but every single one of you watching this video, including me, is not alive. We are laying on that hospital bed right now in that 7 or 8 minutes of brain activity. But as I mentioned, how time works when you're dreaming, it would feel like the whole lifetime you're living right now. Honestly, I'm getting confused in my own game. No, this is just a theory, of course, but there are elements of this that are pretty much certain. Like, what if in that state where your brain is active, you were basically living an entire another existence, and it genuinely feels real? Who's to say you're not living that right now?
And that,
I think that in those 7, 8 minutes after you die, your brain's still alive. I just think it's a rush of memories. All your memories just coming through like a fast reel. That's my opinion, man. What y'all think?
It's a big deal because nowhere else in all of physics does anything erase information from the universe. So it's really true that if I got this notepad and pen, right, and I wrote some things on it, and then I set fire to this, even just incinerated it, put it in a nuclear explosion, whatever. In principle, according to all the laws of nature that we know, if you collected everything that came off, all the radiation, all the bits of ashes and things, and you could just measure it all, then just in principle, the idea is you could reconstruct the information. So it all gets scrambled up and thrown out.
So I'm outside on this beautiful night looking up here at the moon with my camera, and I want to show you guys something pretty interesting. With this long zoom camera, whenever you zoom in on the moon, look at all the detail that you can see. And they tell us that the moon is 238,000 miles away. But they also say the furthest we can travel is in low Earth orbit. So tell me, if we can only travel in low Earth orbit and the moon is 238,000 miles away, tell me how we went to the moon in the first place. And tell me how we can see so much detail if it's supposedly that far away. It's because it's not that far away. It's in the firmament. You've been lied to your whole life. Wake up to the truth.
Y'all think that's true? Y'all think the moon is actually closer than they tell us? And we still can't make it to it. I don't know.
You've been tricking us with words for thousands of years. Check this out, y'all.
Anybody ever wonder why you go to court? I mean, you play basketball on a court, and you play tennis on a court. The whole idea on a court is put the ball back in the other guy's court. That's right. It's just a game. Back and forth, they're throwing the ball back at each other, and the judge is there wearing a black robe. Black because of the planet Saturn. Saturn was the god of banking. That's why the judge sits on the bench. Look it up. Look up the word bench. You will find the word bench is a Latin word for a bank.
Wow.
So the judge rules for the bank. You don't care who's going to win or lose. Somebody's going to pay. And he's going to get paid. What does he care? Okay?
Yep.
So consequently, the judge rules for the bank. He sits on the bench. The whole idea is you're in court to play ball back on the court. How do you play tennis on a court?
Think about it.
Racket. Why? Because the whole thing is a racket.
As always, thanks for watching and stay weird, y'all.
So they're
Made some good points.
playing catch with their dog. They throw the tennis ball out in the pond, and you won't believe, but look, when they threw the ball, I guess a bass came up after the ball at the exact moment that the dog grabbed it. So now he has a bass in his mouth as well as the tennis ball. What are the chances of that happening at the same time? At the exact time a fish comes up to it, to the tennis ball, the dog grabs it. And I think the dog's panicking a little bit. He's like, I don't know what's in my mouth. I don't know what this is. So he brings it up on shore, and then his buddy's like, what did you get? What did you get? See, look, I think I see a splash there. So they must have literally came up at the exact same time. And it's like, what is that, 1.5 pound, 2 pound bass probably? I mean, the dog right here, it's kind of sad, but he's fine. But he's like panicking a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. And yeah, golden retrievers are good dogs. They are good dogs. But they love water. They do love water, don't they? Love it. Well, he's caught more fish than me today, so good for him. Props. See if we see it one more time. Yeah, I don't think we can be able to see it.
Hell no! Yeah, so I'm just like adjusting the needle a little bit, and we'll let that essential dry for a couple minutes so it doesn't rub off. Sometimes they do just the letters of black and then just that dark red. Yeah, I think that would look really cute, like especially like if I like blend it in, I put blend it two colors. What's up? What happened? The table just moved. What the fuck do you mean the table just fucking moved? In the name of Jesus, leave us the fuck alone! What do you mean? I swear to God. Stop! Hell no!
Coincidences that will shock you. In 1954, Ann Hodges was hit with a softball-sized meteorite while taking a nap in her Alabama home. She remains the only known human to ever be hit by a meteorite. Jeremy Booty was a guest set a party for lifeguards who were celebrating going an entire season without anyone drowning. But at the end of the party, with over 100 lifeguards present, Jeremy's body was found at the bottom of the pool.
Yo, imagine going to a lifeguard party and someone drowns, the lifeguard.
In 1996, a man's body floated up to a boat in the seas of the UK. There was no identification on the body, except for a 25-year-old Rolex oyster on his wrist. Thanks to Rolex maintaining such meticulous service records, they were able to identify the man and ultimately his killer.
Y'all, the earth is definitely moving. The earth is definitely moving. This just took place in South Africa. About 4,000 miners, illegal miners, just got trapped in this underground mine. So you guys know how gold just shot up the highest it's ever went? Well, these were the miners of the South African government, and they're not even trying to let them leave, y'all. This is crazy.
South Africa, as we speak, there are hundreds of illegal miners underground in a deep mine shaft at an abandoned gold mine in the country. There are reports there are up to 4,000 people there. These are some of the scenes earlier today. The government rejecting calls for them to be allowed to leave deep underneath the mine shaft because many of them have been prospecting for gold. There are reports that some of these people down there, historically, there have been many gangs, some of them armed, some of them reportedly with automatic.
So the government is not trying to help them out because these people are, in their words, criminals, drug dealers, gangs, thugs, and all this type of stuff. You know, allegedly, in their words. So this is why the families are out there protesting, because they're literally moving unalive people from the mines on a hush-hush, and they don't want people to know who's, you know, who made it out.
4 of my family members were trapped in shaft 10 and shaft 3. So far, only my partner has made it out. The 3 others are still underground. I have no idea if they're still alive or not, because we've heard of dead bodies being pulled out. We haven't had a chance to see or identify any of the bodies, but so far I remain hopeful and may get some sleep at night.
Some members of government have boys. How would they feel if their children were underground, dying of hunger? Would they be happy? Of course not.
See, that's the situation, you know what I'm saying? You do a little time for the government and they think they own you and all this type of stuff, and things happen to you and they can't take care of you or they don't want to. But this is what's happening in South Africa right now, y'all. It's crazy. The energy is crazy intense. And Pluto just entered Aquarius, y'all.
Crazy world we live in.
Like I told you, it's going to get a lot more interesting. But let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, comment, share for more videos like this. And let's continue to get this shift. Peace in.
Security footage in a hospital appears to show people suddenly disappearing. In a split second, several people disappear from each location, shocking the other patients. Is this just an elaborate prank or a glitch in the Matrix?
That thing looked like Thanos snapped his fingers on them.
Imagine this. Hours after a patient passed, an empty ICU room suddenly shows a heartbeat on the monitor. No connections, no logical explanation, just a steady rhythm, as if they're still there. Some say it's the spirit lingering, refusing to move on. Nurses swear by it. Could it be that their soul hasn't left? Unbelievable, right?
Please don't think I'm making the story up, but did you hear about the man that bought a banana taped on a wall for $6.2 million? Here's the article. Remember the banana taped to the wall that went viral in 2019? A piece of art. It was officially sold for $6.2 million. A Chinese entrepreneur, Justin Sun. So this man really paid $6.2 million for banana tape in a wall. You know how many bananas I eat every day? You know how many walls I touch every day? I could go and buy some tape for $2.99 in the store and take a banana, put on the wall, and get $6 million? I am no hater. Trust me, I am no hater. But I really believe the universe made the wrong people rich. How did this shit even work? So you just skip by all the children that don't have food, that don't have water. You just skip all of that and you get this. $6.2 million. Now, you would think I will be making the story up, but once you Google it, everything pop up. He said this is artwork. This is going to bridge both worlds into what? This is why the universe is so off balance. Did you know? Did you notice that every time you see a rich person, there's a poor person? Every time you see a poor person, there's a rich person. No one is supposed to be rich and no one is supposed to be poor. We're all supposed to be balanced. Therefore, we will never want for anything. This is bullshit.
6.2 million, y'all. Ooh.
Yep. Come here, guy. Buddy.
So, you see the guy that's going in there? Yeah. Just watch right here. And that's it. Like, God.
This woman disappeared.
Oh, that was strange.
Off the face of the earth in 1992 and then reemerged 30 years later in a nursing home in Puerto Rico. She's originally from Pennsylvania, so how did that happen? Her name is Patricia Copta. In 1992, when extensive search efforts provided nothing, they just pronounced her as dead. She was found alive 30 years later in a Puerto Rican nursing home. That's pretty far from Pennsylvania. She had apparently been living under the alias of Serena and had dementia. There are tons of theories on why she ended up here. The most popular theory is that she was fearful of being institutionalized. She was apparently showing signs of schizophrenia and dementia, and doctors were going to put her into a mental institution to help her. Ironically, she fled the country and ended up in a nursing home anyways. They only found this out because she started slowly revealing information about herself at a nursing home. They started cross-referencing some records and they matched it up. Others claim she was probably trafficked and ended up in Puerto Rico somehow. Some backstory information I also got from researching. Apparently she was a street preacher and said she saw the Virgin Mary. I'm curious to know what she did in those 30 years, but she probably does not remember, unfortunately. What do you guys actually think happened to Patricia Copta?
This garden...
Man, she lost her mental when she was a long time ago. Keep your mental safe.
Security camera was triggered by 3 strange lights moving through the sky. The owner doesn't live anywhere near a flight zone. He then checked online if any aircraft had flown over his area, and they hadn't. What do you think these strange objects could be? In the deserts of South Africa, a sunken footprint can be found within a rock formation. What's unique is that this foot is over 1 meter in length.
The giant footprint. In my opinion, probably the greatest example of a giant footprint in rock. I haven't seen anything better yet.
It is thought that it was imprinted whilst the ground was soft clay. Over time, the fossil has then formed.
It was first discovered in 1931 by a farmer or a guy around this area called Stoffel Coetzee, who was hunting in this area. He refers to this as the place where the ogres once used to live. The ogres and the man-eating giants that used to live in this part of the world.
The Universe 25.
Y'all believe in giants?
Experiment aimed to see what will make a society collapse. If you were to give all of its needs met to survive, what will it do? So Universe 25 got a bunch of rats into this area, and they gave them unlimited food and water and space to expand, but the space was limited. What happened is that the rats didn't have to fight for food and water. There was enough to go around. But what started happening is that the rats, since they no longer had a need to go out and survive, they started focusing on shit that didn't fucking matter. What does that mean? They started segregating groups of rats based on the class system. Other rats were not deemed as higher up, so they were kicked to the curb, so they had smaller spaces, but they still had access to the food and water, just kind of how we do. What started happening is that the rats started developing weird sexual behaviors. They were producing fucking crazy, but for some reason, even though they had access to all of the food and water they needed, the population started declining, which didn't really make any sense because you have all of your survival needs met.
First of all, I don't trust you.
That is a true study. You could look it up. I seen it. They did it with the rats, and yeah, it kind of imploded on itself.
U.S. government, and I'm a United States congressman. I've talked to experts. I've seen testimony from astronauts. I've talked to fighter pilots, some of the best in the world, and they tell me that they've chased these craft, and yet the Pentagon says they don't exist, and now we're talking about throwing money at it, and all of a sudden they say they want to study it. They lose billions of dollars every year. They've never passed an audit, and it's not like to say the Pentagon is a bunch of war pimps anyway. The American public deserves transparency. We deserve to know what's going on. Had a conversation with somebody called me over the weekend that was very high up in the Trump administration. They told me that I'd kicked a hornet's nest, and that their words were, I need to get some bodies around me. I take that very serious.
You say we recovered alien bodies from that incident?
4 from that particular crash, yes.
And what'd they do with them?
They autopsied them. Dr. Detlef Bronk was the chief surgeon, so to speak. He was the one that named them EBEs. That stands for Extraterrestrial Biological Entities. And we captured 3 live EBEs. They were numbered in their order of capture: EBE1, EBE2, and EBE3.
Where did we capture? Where did this happen?
In different crashes. EBE1 lived with an Air Force colonel between 1949 and 1952. The EBEs are kept in an electromagnetic facility called a YY-2. It was designed by a Dr. Eric Wang, who worked directly for Dr. Kissinger, who has been in this cover-up since the very beginning. The reason they had to create an electromagnetic facility is the fact that the EBEs are so advanced. They're at least 500 million years advanced from us, and probably more. They can move by thought.
Move by thought.
It made me think of the philosopher, I don't want to get too derailed here, but the philosopher Immanuel Kant, who is, you know about Kant? So he's the guy who really first said, it is through our minds that we are filtering this reality. He was following up on some questions left by another genius, David Hume. And so the actual objective reality of this world is not something that we're actually even really getting. We're perceiving it through the filter of our senses and through the filter of our cognition. Talking about facts is one thing, but facts without a proper organization can be very deceptive also.
Hiding from us anymore.
What the fuck? Y'all see that?
What is that? This is what the fuck is that? Nah. Y'all see that though, right? I know I ain't tripping, bro. Bro. What the fuck is that?
Oh my god! What the fuck? Tata! Tata!
His parents let him cuss that time, but I got a feeling that something's gonna happen with these aliens sooner than later. Or yeah, something's gonna happen.
Yeah, I came out here to do a video about this, but I've been watching these clouds just sitting over the horizon for quite some time now, y'all. Look at this. Y'all see these dark gray clouds just sitting over the horizon? Look at this shit, y'all. What the hell? Look, it goes all over. Look at this. But look, when you look at the sky, look. Listen, look. See this? Look at that. You can't even see what it is. It's not. You can't tell if it's a plane. You can't. Is that a bird? Is that a bird heading? What the heck is that? Did y'all see that? What was that black dot? Where'd it go? I can't even see it with my eye. Where'd it go? Oh, that's a plane. Okay. Okay, cool. But look, not a cloud in the sky. Not a cloud, but this thing is literally sitting over the horizon. This thing is literally sitting over the horizon. Look at this. Look at this. See, I just showed y'all a plane, but this right here, I don't know what it is. You can't even see what it is. It's not even plain. It's not even plain because it's low, but you can't tell what it is. You can't tell what it is. What is that? But here's the sun. Here's the sun. Shit looking crazy. But
yo, it would be wild to hang out with this dude. He would have your head spinning so much all day, you would just be gone.
yes, y'all, these clouds have just been sitting over the horizon, not moving. What?
Something very strange is happening on our planet. What is this, y'all? These things are moving really, really fast. No planes or aircraft on this planet move that fast. Let me know what y'all think. As always, stay weird.
He couldn't eat our food, couldn't eat all our food, but eventually over a period of time, he had food in the craft, which they later recovered for him. And they're pellets, that he would eat these pellets, and they would melt. As soon as they got into his mouth, they would melt. And that's another thing the doctors couldn't understand was, we tried them, they didn't melt in our mouth. Something about the saliva or the enzymes in Eva's mouth that immediately reacted with these food pellets. But he's survived on these food pellets, but eventually they ran out. And now they had to figure out what kind of food he could eat. And they did. They found vegetables, certain types of vegetables. I don't remember the vegetables, but there were certain vegetables and fruit that he could eat and could survive on. And he could survive on our water. But eventually he succumbed to something, and I'm not sure in 1952 when he died, they figured out why.
ban things in different countries. France. Face covering. Pakistan. Love before marriage. Afghanistan. TV.
Wow.
Somalia. Samosa. Poland. Winnie the Pooh. Russia. Where Lucy Andes. North Korea. Almost everything. Cuba. Cell phone. India. Chinese apps.
This is possibly an alien implant.
Well, if you look, there's actually a piece of the chip sticking out and what appears to be these fibers that were moving on their own. And then it looks like this chip or whatever this is, this foreign object, is encapsulated by some sort of biological material.
Good call. Grand Canyon it is. Let's get our bearings from Google Earth. So on the 1651 map should be around here. And just to keep everyone up to date, the Grand Canyon is basically the canyon that follows the Colorado River in its epic, mighty glory. Now on the old map, California is still kind of an island, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to be the River Colorado there, but it looks more like it'd fall within this vast sort of unmapped land. And if we look closer here, there's nothing above Ray Coromado. Interestingly, it refers to Hudson's Bay as the West Mediterranean, and apparently New England discovered by Captain John Smith. But just coming back here, we've got Porto San Francisco Draco, and then we have this Mexicana and Granada and New Spain. So I wonder if that's the Granada they were talking about that were conquered back from the Moors. Allegedly. Seems like there's a bit more to it than meets the eye with history in these parts of the world. But for the best part, I don't think this map actually shows the Grand Canyon. It does have the Rockies coming up here. And just to finish off with some other interesting insights about the Grand Canyon, some guys overlaid a star map and the constellation of Orion. There are interesting links to Egypt, sphinxes, treasures, and even pyramids, and a lot of it is off limits. Some even suggest that it was simply just an old mine. What do you think's the best explanation?
Did you know? I heard they found African artifacts in the Grand Canyon. I don't know. Y'all let me know.
That the color which we see when we close our eyes is called Eigengrau, which is different from black? Interesting facts. No one knew about the last one. A day on Earth is not 24 hours. It's actually 23 hours, 56 minutes, and 4 seconds. Would you prefer getting stuck in an elevator for 24 hours? Or kiss the second person who appears when you click on share and then click on more? Our fingers get wrinkly in water because wrinkled fingers would give a stronger grip on slippery objects underwater. TikTok will give you a warning if you comment, well, well, well. The largest muscle in your body is the one you are currently sitting on. Babies can only see white and black in the first month of their birth, and that's because their retinal nerves aren't fully developed yet. If you want to get rid of your bad habits without nicotine or vapor, check the link in my bio. Honeybees communicate the location of food sources using a waggle dance, in which the angle and duration of the dance convey information about the distance and direction of the food.
Make sure you lock your doors at night. You might get a visit from a monitored lizard. That's all I got for y'all today. I appreciate y'all hanging out, man. Please hit the like, subscribe, leave some comments. Let me know what's going on. I appreciate y'all, man. Have a good day.